The security officer was stunned when the scanner went off non-stop as a cute little girl stepped through. To their shock, she pulled out a huge stash of contraband, an assortment of knives, every type imaginable. The staff froze in disbelief. What surprised them even more was the strange item inside her bag. When they opened it, they found a severed hand. Annie quickly explained she was headed to an embalmer's convention and that it was only a fake hand. The officer believed her and set it aside, but then pulled out a tube of hand cream, which by regulation wasn't allowed. Annie was puzzled at first, but soon figured out why it was there. Annie had been born with psychic abilities. At 6 years old, she set her sights on a serial killer whose victims were always young women. To track him through telepathy, Annie sent Thing to sneak into the police station and steal a piece of evidence, the bowling ball that belonged to his 11th victim. Through it, Annie locked onto the killer, Jack. Even without her weapons, confiscated at the airport, Annie managed to find him. The moment she touched Jack, she connected with his mind, but then black tears streamed from her eyes, and she collapsed. When she came to, she was in a room filled with dolls. Jack wheeled in a cart of tools, then handed her a doll, saying it was a gift. It turned out he had a twisted ritual. Before killing, he always gave his victims a doll. Annie coolly replied that she believed in returning the favor, and told him to look closely at one of the dolls. As Thing launched an attack, Annie calmly slipped out of her restraints. Thing had his own agenda, striking Jack where it hurt most, leaving him writhing in agony. Jack barely managed to shake him off before Annie pounced again, unleashing a brutal beating. Once Jack was dealt with, Thing walked up to Annie and pointed out that her makeup was smeared. Annie brushed it off, saying it was just a minor psychic glitch, and warned him not to tell anyone, especially her mom. Then she picked up Jack's own tools and performed a little surgery on him herself.